Alright, well, it's kind of a coincidental circumstance. I mean, somebody PM'd me with a reference to an old JasperAvi video, little snarky bastard. Coincidentally, tomorrow I'll be doing a Hold-On's interview thing with Jasper. Jasper's idea, of course. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I say, what the hell, taking on Matt and Matt fails is, it's probably too easy. That's like shooting slugs in a barrel or something. So, what the hell? Throw another asshole in there and see what happens. But anyway, I thought I'd respond to his old video because, my Mendham response is probably gone, dead. It's disappeared now. And, and that defending champ guy made a comment on it, a recent comment a week ago, saying, I wish I'd seen this video before. You said exactly what I would have said if I had a brain and I wasn't a stupid fucktard. I mean, they're so lame. I mean, I've pwned the asshole's ass all over the place. His last video, after he says he wants to continue the discussion, he makes some dumbass suicide video, where I only referenced twice in my video that the suicide isn't even an answer. It doesn't solve the problem. I mean, you bail out personally. You're just leaving consciousness vulnerable still, so you don't even win. So, I mean, I not only advocate for suicide, but there's nothing. The truth is the truth, assholes. I mean, it's not a good enough response to say, oh, the truth is too depressing. That's, how lame that argument is? So either make the argument that the truth isn't depressing, or deal with the depressing fact that the truth is depressing. But don't blame me for it, you stupid little weasel. But anyway, that was just a way of him copping out, a way of him bailing out of the conversation because he knew he lost it. So, fuck these little weasels. So, anyway, Jasper was talking about his beard and shit, so I cut off the first couple of seconds. And, so here he goes.
Gary, I think it's perfectly timed. We had a whole long conversation last night about, we tried to have a long conversation the other night, and it turned out to become a yelling match, as is most.
Yeah, well, Jasper, you have that personality. We're definitely going to have personality conflicts because you're going to keep pretending that you're not insulting, and you're incredibly insulting and patronizing and arrogant. And if I remember the conversation correctly, it's the same old argument. I'm arguing from a premise. If you're not going to accept the premise, there's no argument. I'm not going to keep going over and over and over that. I'm talking about the consequences of established facts. You want to talk about those consequences in a reality I can't imagine existing, a reality where that premise is untrue. So there's just no point in arguing about it, idiot.
Common when conversing with people like Gary. When moved into a corner and unable to verify and articulate comments, it turns to yelling. And screaming.
Oh dear, not yelling. Oh no, you mean voices are louder? Oh no!
Coupled with personal insults, so not surprising.
Oh yeah, well look, I guess you're backed into a corner because In Mendham's Clueless is the title, and then you say he can't wrap his head around this, and so nonsense, cannot reason around it, imply whatever, blah blah blah. There's got to be some good stuff. Oh, he even puts the honors for the video in the description. I mean, what a sub-whore kind of thing to do. It's dishonest. Yeah, well, I mean, there's lots of keywords one could pluck out of your bullshit. Oh, here it is, down here. Yeah, Gary, DoNotGod, In Mendham, conscious, pain, joy, love, hate, right, asshole, intellectual, lightweight. And so you think that rhetoric deserves you anything else but a good stiff, fuck you in the face?
Onto Gary's video he just uploaded. Okay, so Gary decided that I guess the best way to go about this again is to keep striking with personal insults. So we're all phantasmagoricals. We're all.
Oh, come on. Yeah, phantasmagorical. Is that really, that word is just so insulting? I mean, if it's so outrageous, isn't it something you can talk your way out of? I mean, really? I mean, it's like I said. How is it? You can't even call it a personal insult. It is my description of your philosophy. Well, whatever. Make a defending argument.
idiots, whatever. Whatever word comes to mind first that he's either created or is essentially.
Yeah, I didn't create idiots. That's been around a long time, asshole.
We have to peek at his vocabulary. Gary, here's your problem. Just blank it. I tried to explain this to you last night. It didn't work. We operate under the condition that life is worth living sometimes, and therefore life is probably worth living. Yes, there are bad things. There are certainly good things as well. The fact of the matter is that when trying to reference value, you're doing it on a completely subjective level.
Yeah, sorry, no sale. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that there is this value. Okay, we know that suffering is a negative. What it's worth is what I'm arguing. I'm conversing on the subject of what it's worth. But we know it's got red on it. We know it's not a good thing. All right, it really can be established as a premise, as a fact, that there's this thing called suffering, unpleasantness, harsh unpleasantness, repulsive sensation, pain, that has a real negative component. It has no value unless it has something really powerfully valuable to compensate for it. And the question is there anything powerfully valuable to compensate for it, to justify it?
You're trying to infer whether or not something is worth doing. When you start using the word worthiness, worth, what you've done is you've moved from the realm of objectivity into the realm of value. And value judgments are made on.
Now, well, see, again, you're going to just keep, from your point of view, there's no such thing as value in the universe. You'll just keep arguing that, and I'll keep arguing that no, there's a huge distinction between a sentient organism and a rock. There's a gigantic difference. It's not the same thing. All right, when the universe is all done and you subtotaled, it would be a significant thing. Those little things that we're feeling and sentient, that would be distinguished. It would be distinguishable from the rocks and the minerals and the suns and the galaxies and all the other hardware out there. Those little feeling things were fucking important. They had a capacity that the other shit didn't have, and an important capacity.
Subjective grounds. What you find valuable, someone else may not find valuable. So, if you think that life is...
Yeah, but see, now we're talking about desire. We're talking about what we appreciate, what we want, what we need, what we want to consume, all that kind of stuff. And those are subjective definitions. I'm not telling people what to desire. I'm making an argument that the suffering and the pleasure, the desire and the repulsion, the fear, or whatever it's very hard to take each one of these things and say there are exact reciprocals, because they're not. Desire is not a reciprocal to pain. It's a different quantum.
All pain and suffering and negativeness and badness, then you think so. And by all means, keep...
Yeah, and I argue and I defend the premise, and I also defend everything I've built on top of it. So what the fuck where's my crime in this discussion?
Touting that, keep spouting that, and wherever route that leads you, I presume further into the depths of depression,
Well, like I said, that's just irrelevant, and I don't see the indications of that anyway. But whatever, like I said, we're talking philosophy, and philosophy isn't, you don't sit there and say, well, that's just too depressing a truth, so we'll just put an X through that one. That's just bullshit.
I would take you there. But to explain that you have some kind of objective rationale for this is nonsense. It really is. And I showed this to you last night, and you still backed out. You backed out.
I didn't back out of anything. I'm just telling you that I've explained why, where the evidence is. The evidence is in nature and in our personal experience. We have the benefit of personal experience as a consciousness. We know this pain-pleasure thing is powerful shit. There's just no doubt about the fact that it's meaningful.
And you shut down with screaming. So you said that left of center's inference for his idea about the good in life is just emotional nonsense. Just we're feeding the disease, we're feeding the addiction, etc., etc. That was your...
Well, I think it's an important concept. The word addiction is an important concept. It's important to understand what the fuck desire is. Is what we desire of real value, or is the desire something innately built into us? Okay? Is the perception of value artificial, fake, completely contrived? That's sort of important. So look, let's just do this. Look, the rational way to look at this is if the human race was something we could objectively view and play with. So let's just do the rat experiment. So you're the owner of a rat experiment. There's a bunch of rats in the maze, and you decide to play games with the rats, and you decide to I'll put some tasty chemical on their tails, so all the rats eat each other's tails. And so the rats are going through this horrible competitive thing. They're eating each other's tails off, all this blood, pain, misery, suffering, blah.